once we have the offer created, we have to move to getting traffic, all right? And we're gonna pretend that the average person watching this isn't famous. You're not Kim Kardashian, you're not Kendall Jenner, you're not, Elon Musk. Like, you just have an average following, okay? So the first thing we wanted to do, and what I did to actually get money, is I started doing warm reach out. So all my followers on Instagram, all my followers on Facebook, anyone who had followed me before. And first, what I did is I made it fitness related, right? So I made it so that all the posts on my page were about fitness. So people who are now following me would like only see fitness. And I started reaching out, and the way I reached out with warm traffic is I just said, hey, thanks for following me. Let's say this is my Instagram. What's your fitness goal? And that would then lead to a sales conversation where I try to book them on a sales call. Eventually, though, that ran out because I'm not a famous influencer. I didn't have millions of followers. Like, there was only so many people. There were like hundreds of people, right? And so once I ran out of those people, then I went to cold DMs. Cold DMs would be IG hashtags or Facebook groups. And it'd be a similar type of thing, but usually the process would be a little bit more elongated. So I'll walk you through what I would say. So I might reach out to someone and say, I start with a compliment. So I'd say, hey, Betty, hope this isn't weird to say. Your kids are super cute. I'm from a family of 7 kids, so I just had to say, LOL. And she's like, oh, thanks so much, Tanner. I'm like, yeah, for sure. It's like, do you work also, or are you a super mom? Like, are you a super mom who also works, or do you just stay at home? She's like, oh, I do both. Huh? It's like, cool. What do you do for work? Does it keep you busy? And they always say, does it yes, right? And I'm asking questions that I know what she's going to say the answer is, right? She's like, it keeps me busy. And then here's my transition. I go, oh, wow. I was like, does that make it hard to work out? And remember, this is all over DMs, guys. This is not, but you can tell by the way I'm saying it, like this would transition very well. So she's like, oh yeah, it does. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, what goal are you working on this year? She's like, I'd like to lose 20 pounds. What are you struggling with? Oh, I just don't know what to do. What have you tried? Oh, I've tried everything. Have you ever had a coach before? No, I've never had a coach. And then I would say, look, I don't know if you care about getting help or not, but I do this fitness stuff all day long. I'd be down to give you some suggestions if you're open to it. And then she's like, yeah, that's great. I'm like, cool. So instead of typing out 67,000 more messages, LOL, I can hop on a quick 10-minute call. Here's my number. What's yours? And sometimes people would drop off, but more times than not, they get on a call with me. And then I get on the call and I build rapport. I was like, oh, thanks for the call. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. It'll be super quick. So what is your goal? What are you struggling with? What have you tried? I'll ask pretty much the same questions. And then when I get to the end of that call, I call it a triage call. I would say, well, look, I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you a follow-up email with questions that I can't exactly remember, like favorite foods, foods you hate, like workouts you like, stuff like that. Fill that out. And if that goes well, we'll hop on another call. And then that email I sent over to them was a application. And on that application, you would have questions like, what's your favorite exercises? What exercises do you hate? What foods do you like? What foods do you dislike? But really the only questions that really mattered is I would have a question, actually the question, I would say, look, I teach people how to eat and train the best way for the rest of your life without sabotaging results. If I could guarantee a way for you to get to where you want without risk, like, would you sign up for my program or something like that? I'll actually show up below, guys. I'll get the link for my team and I'll put the link below of the actual application we sent so you guys can see what that application looked like because it was fire. And then from there, they're on the sales call and now I can start making as much money as I want because yes, cold DMs would take longer and they take more time, they take more effort, but there's unlimited amounts of people on planet Earth. And so that's how that will work. And something else I forgot to bring up that I did was what I call Instagram shoutouts. I totally forgot to tell you guys about that. So think of warm DMs and Instagram shoutouts in the same boat, and then cold DMs are after, right? So it's still about getting traffic, but this is how I got to $1 million within a year. So the second thing I did is I would run shoutouts. And what a shoutout is essentially where you go to a page on Instagram that has a lot of type of people that you think would be good clients. You DM them and you say, hey, what would your rate be to do this post? And you send them the post and you send them the caption. Let's say the post was, follow that Tanner Chiser for more fitness tips and tricks and whatever. And it was like me jacked or shredded. And they would say, oh, it's $300. So what I would do is I would pay them $300. They would post me and tag me. And then that traffic would come to my page and I'd reach out to those people and DM them. And the benefit of that would be I could be more direct and just say, hey, thanks for following me. What's your fitness goal this year? And that was how I got all my traffic with shout outs, warm reach outs, and then cold DMs.